And I think I did that right. Welcome to Fun in the Country Basement. We are minus a country today, but never fear, the show will go on. I am Chris, from Chris's Basement. I'm here in the basement yet again today with my buddy Glenn. Glenn, I'll let you have it.
Today I'm the Glenn. Did you see that? I'm the Glenn. Because they always say you're the Chris Riley, so today I'm the Glenn. So, hello, everybody. I'm Glenn from Fun King 3D, and welcome to Fun in the Country Basement, where everything is made up and the points don't matter. First and foremost, if you forgot or you're tuning in for the first time, if you go to funcountrybasement.com, go all the way down to the very bottom, the basement of the webpage, there is a link to get your FKB bingo card, and you can play Fun in the Country Basement bingo with us as we go. I don't know if it's going to be possible without Walter, though. There's some squares that are pretty dependent on him. But you can find me anywhere at Fun King 3D. So that's it.
No, that's a great point. There is a lot of Walter-centric spaces on the card, so bingo is going to be super challenging today.
I need it for the bingo! Xander's actually playing the FKB Ingo right now, so he had to. Oh, he made it too, because I told him, I said, you may not be able to do a Xander appearance. You're going to have to run in there and then run back real fast. And he's like, I have to see it? And I'm like, yes, you have to actually witness it happening. So.
Nice.
Hello, everybody. Have we gotten past the point where, like, to go back and go through the chat, I mean, have we surpassed that?
I think so. I mean, as much as I love everyone, and I do because I answer all the comments and we chat regularly, as much as I love you all, just going back through the chat has been just something that's hard to keep up with.
Yeah, I mean, there's already 50 people watching.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough to go back and call you all out, and then by the time you get to the bottom of that list, you'll forget who you called out in the beginning of that list, and then.
Well, that's exactly right. It's like I think I got you, but I completely lose track by the time I go through there.
I like when Walter does it, and he's like, Bob Smith is here, and then like gets down to the bottom. Bob Smith, I don't think I've seen your name before. Welcome to the country club. But in his old age. I'm going to do that through this whole stream because he's not here. So
that's awesome. But okay, so I still do the chat. Glenn, you mentioned that you can see chat on your side now, which is a handy feature.
I can see the live chat in the StreamYard.
Yeah, I do still use, though, until they figure out the highlighting your name, I still look at YouTube chat, because if there's something directed at me, I will totally lose it. Unless it pops up in orange.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I know that we've said something to him, but maybe we need to bug him about it. I don't imagine that would be really hard to do. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe the API just doesn't work that way, but I have the chat open anyway because I can't respond in here. So, but we are. My excitement is the fact that we are moving ahead. They are still adding features into StreamYard, which excites me. That
absolutely
stagnant. I mean, they have the potential right now to just explode and go huge, and so I hope that happens.
Yeah,
mainly because I paid for a year of this already.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I'm kind of locked in as of now, so I hope it gets better.
Yeah, if it starts to go downhill, and it's funny. They said you can cancel at any time, but no refunds. Tom said, so I decided to wipe down my window fan. Now it's like 20 pieces and getting totally scrubbed. So gross once you really start to look at it, what it collects. But it also stops moving as much air when you take all that dust off there. The dust helps push the air in. John Strand said there's some static on my side.
I heard a bit there for a moment, but it was very brief.
All right, well, if that continues to happen, please let me know.
It was more like wind noise, kind of a. Like what happens to Walter occasionally, where it gets kind of open, kind of loud.
Yeah, like elevate, like a filter shut off.
It was kind of like that for a second.
Yeah, I don't think I'm running any filters, but no, you guys absolutely keep me apprised if it's having issues because I'll switch mics or whatever. This Comica set is really nice, and it was $500, but so far there's been a couple of things that are questionable that like my $30 Fine mics never did.
Right.
So
can you add a fuzzy screen
added fanfare to his audio?
Yeah.
My own applause.
So today I have something interesting. So I'm on the quest still of high temp plastic, Peak, Ultim, PSU, all the stuff, 350 and above. And it was going okay after Dave made me the part so it wouldn't melt anymore. But then I got a heater, an enclosure heater from Randolph, and then I melted the extruder parts.
Like the actual assembly.
Yeah, the assembly.
Not the extruder itself.
No, yeah, the arm, the tensioning arm.
Yeah.
I can tell you it's been kind of an eye-opening experience having an enclosure this warm, because on this printer originally I kept some of the original plugs, and all the parts and plugs originally were hot glued. And one day I just happened to look in there while it was printing, and it's like a candle melted, just running over the side. So there's a lot of things you got to think about when you're doing stuff like this, and even like the case temperature. So the case becomes the heat sink, right? And you can touch it, and it's not pleasant to touch.
Wow,
because it's so warm. Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts, but I'm getting a little further here and there. But I definitely have to take the extruder part now and see what's liquefied inside it. So
you should save all of that high temp printing for the winter time.
I should. I've been doing it like right out. I've got a walkout door, and I've been printing right outside there. But it's still kind of miserable to stand out there when it's so humid, and then you're standing next to this thing that's, on the outside it's 60 C. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, John Strand said replace your furnace with a 3D printer.
There you go.
That's awesome. Well, I'm actually waiting for the printer to heat up. I'm gonna print again. I'm still printing these little plugs for my desk.
Oh, nice.
That way my parts don't fall through. It helps people not to be able to get that square in bingo.
Yeah. Printer's an easy bake oven. Absolutely. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about what I could cook with, without it killing me.
Cheese on a bagel and then the bagel through there to toast it.
Yeah, I could grill a cheese real easy on this thing. I'm pretty sure.
Get a nice sheet of cookies coming out of there with a little chocolate on the top.
I do plan on doing a video about this whole thing. It's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be that great of a video, but definitely going to cook something at the end of that video.
Awesome.
The problem is I'm too cheap to like put hinges on the enclosure, so I'm just screwing down plastic plates. So I have to unscrew it, and it's really hard to swap filament and stuff. So yeah.
You got to get studs and wing nuts.
Yeah, I thought about. I've just got 5mm bolts. I thought about just printing some pieces. They'd have to be like ABS or something, but to just make them spin off thumb nuts, like on a bed or something. I should do that.
Yeah, if you were going to use them, like put the bolt from the inside out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm sure those bolts wouldn't get that hot.
Nah. I say that now.
So it's fun in the basement? It is fun in the basement today. We've gotten rid of all the country.
It's always fun in the basement.
Plus he breaks the rules and calls in on his phone.
Yeah, I won't let him in.
That's true. Now you don't have to. Now you don't have to accept it.
He'll be permanent green room material.
That's not a printer; it's a fondue pot.
It has been deemed the baked potato.
The baked potato.
Yeah, because the inside is completely lined with foil tape. It's real shiny in there.
Yeah, you print something and throw a hot dog in there at the same time.
Lunch.
Print and lunch.
That's right.
So I got my new router for my network.
Mhm.
And so it's obviously it's a different size than my old router, and they make a rack mount bracket for it, and I got all excited and I ordered it. But my rack used to be a 22-inch telecom rack, and I actually cut a section out of it and welded it back together, but I missed by just a little bit. Like, it's a little bit too narrow. So this particular bracket didn't work. So what I'm working on, and I thought I had it sitting here as I started this conversation, I have a 2U filler that I use. It's hard to see black in front of black in front of black. There we go.
Yeah.
So this is where a Decora plate goes for network jack, and then this is where the modem was. So I'm going to cut this out more, and so I've started to build a bracket for my router and my fiber to Ethernet converter to mount onto the front of this, so that this thing that you can't see onto the front of this, and then it'll have a bracket back behind it. But this was the piece that I had tweeted about, that it needed to be 256 millimeters wide, but I wanted to have this luxurious Prusa texture on it.
Okay, yeah, I saw
go back in and redesign it at 250. That is 250 millimeters wide. It was printing on both ends of the bed. So that was just a test to see if it fit, which it did. So now I gotta work on the real one. But
very nice.
Gotta have that texture. That texture is so awesome.
It is nice, I have to say.
So, and then I have a Wham Bam system coming for the Creality CR10S. So I'm excited about that too.
That's cool.
Videos will be made.
Yeah, I have a Wham Bam, but it's for a printer that I haven't built yet, so I haven't had any time to try it yet.
Well, what sucks about being me and ordering from Wham Bam, I have to pay tax. They're in Florida.
Ooh, yeah. That's true.
Patrick Neoff said, couldn't you print it diagonally on the print bed? Actually, I couldn't. And the reason being is because of the height of it. Just the corners, just like 2 millimeters of the corners were off the bed. It wouldn't happen. And I can't make it any shorter. So Tony Ryan, don't you have? Why did it mute that? Don't you have
no idea.
Steel sheet for the FK1? That would be awesome, but no. But maybe Wham Bam will make me a flex plate for it. No, it's not a big deal, Patrick. I narrowed it down. What I ended up doing was and I know this is really hard to see, this black on black, but the screw holes, I ended up moving the screw holes over and shaving just enough off of this edge to make it work. And actually now I've shaved it down another millimeter on each side so that it's not right at the edge of the bed. So, but then I had to, it's got, and again, I know you're not going to be able to see this, but it's got mounting holes for ears, for network ears, but they don't give you the dimensions on it. So I measured, and first shot made it perfectly. So now I can mount that thing. I can have ears on this and mount it up. So, but I also was playing with printing keystones. Keystone mounts for the jacks, and I thought, man, as soon as because it bridged this. This is PETG. This is IC3D PETG, and it bridged it fine. And as soon as I went to snap it in there, I thought, it's going to bust these little things. It actually broke. It broke this little flap right here, this little tab. I don't know if you can see that moving, but
yep,
it broke the jack and not the print. I'd have rather had to break the print.
Yeah.
But it's all right. I'm going to end up putting this Decora bracket back in there. So, and I decided to swap my rack out, my entirely too narrow rack. What's funny with that story is I originally sanded it down. It was a Lucent Technologies rack, which came in that lovely baby blue that they use on everything.
Right.
And I sanded it all down and I painted it and I brought it up here and I bolted it to the floor and I went to put the first rack mount item on there and it right through. And I'm like, what? I found out it was a 22-inch telecom rack and I'm like, oh, man. So I had to take it back down, cut it in half, cut the section out of it, weld it back together, grind it, Bondo it, smooth out, repaint the whole thing, bring it back up, bolt it on. And it's been fine, but I have a 4-post rack that was given to me by my church. It was just sitting in the closet, and they were like, here, get rid of this stuff. And I cleaned it up yesterday, and I found a sticker on it, and I looked up the manufacturer, and I can't find any information on it specifically. But based on the numbers and stuff that's on it, it was made by a company called, I want to say it was Inotech. I'll have to look again now, but they didn't sell that as a rack. That was a mainframe computer from 1972.
Really?
So, yeah, and which is really cool. Like the history behind it has got to be amazing. So here's this 4-post server rack from 1972. Where has it been from then to now? Like what has its lifetime been? So, I mean, that's got to be pretty amazing. And I'm pretty sure that it was bought. There's a store in Orlando called Skycraft that sells all kinds of surplus, and I'm pretty sure that that's where the church got it from because there was other parts on the setup that had their price tags on it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that that's where they got the rack too, which means it may have come from NASA or because they buy all the surplus out of the government. That thing's been involved in sending rockets into space.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Down in your area, that could be NASA real easy.
Yep.
That's pretty cool, man.
So it's I don't know. It's exciting. So I'm going to reach out because that company is still around. It's and of course that escapes me too. It's something Elmer or Elmer something. But I'm going to reach out to them and see if there's any way that they can pull the model and serial number and give me some idea exactly what it was. I mean, if I could get the actual specs and stuff off of the original, that would be really awesome.
That would be awesome.
Perkin Elmer.
Huh.
They bought out and I want to say it's Inotech, but that may be wrong. But they bought that company out in 1968. Perkin Elmer makes scientific equipment, and they needed the computer power for their scientists, and so they bought this computer company, and they paid like $63 million for it in 1968. And then immediately turned it into a $200 million a year company.
Wow.
I don't know. I just love the old stuff. And then, just like it's not tall. It's only 70 inches from the floor to the top. So like in today's times, like it's not nearly as tall as a cabinet is now.
Right.
But it's built like a tank. And all the seams are welded and ground down and smooth and it's nice. I like it. It looks like it's 46 years old, but
right. That's actually kind of an interesting discussion as far as rack size goes, in data centers because that's what I do. But that was the biggest complaint about users of legacy IBM equipment. It didn't come in a 19-inch rack. It comes in it comes in whatever size they feel like is what it comes in, but they're always a lot larger, and the large machines are double doored. They're probably, 40 inches wide or something like that. So IBM decided, well, we'll start making everything in a 19-inch rack, but they couldn't fit it. So they bring them in through the door, and then they have a hat that they lift to make it 2 foot taller.
Wow.
So it's this giant 19-inch rack that's 8.5 feet tall or whatever.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So that's what they did to get everybody their 19-inch rack.
Yeah, Carl said that was the first mainframe he was trained on, the Perkin Elmer 3220.
Nice. Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because like the top of the frame, right across the top of the frame, there was still a blue stripe on there. And when I first seen that, I thought, man, I wonder if this was a Lucent technology rack because it's about the same color that Lucent uses.
Mhm.
And then I found out it's aluminum, and it was just stuck on with 2-sided tape. So I got my putty knife and I took it off, because I'm going to sand the whole frame down and paint it. And then looking at pictures and stuff on the internet last night, that's what these were made up of. And I have a door which I thought was the front door. It turns out that's actually the back door. Like the back side of the rack had this big solid door. The front had a big reel-to-reel tape machine, and you got to think about how far back this was.
Oh yeah.
Punch card readers.
What am I building? I'm actually trying to make a repair. I melted some of the parts on this printer, so now I'm going to try to figure out what I need to replace them with.
Is there a bingo square for racks? There needs to be. You guys are too much. The atmosphere feels a lot less stressful without Walter around. And the images are so much clearer. Here, I'll do Walter just for a minute. Hey y'all, I'm phoning in from Disney. There, that fulfills anybody that's got that bingo split.
Printed too hot? Yes. Well, I don't know. Like, it was too hot for certain parts. I know that.
Yeah, I had a neighbor one time that fixed his headliner in his car with hot glue. He just went around and hot glued it all. He was so proud, like smoothed it all out. Like when he put the glue up in there, he was like smoothing it out and stuff. He was so proud. Like the next day, the headliner was laying on the floor again.
Yeah, there's a day wasted. I'll have to find some sort of metal arm for this thing.
Is it just like a flat piece? I mean, you could cut out a sheet.
No, it's the standard Mark 8 style arm deal. I should have one of these somewhere off of another machine.
Was that the Walter Mentions Disney Square or the Glenn Walter Beard one? I don't know, Patrick.
Make your decision, and the judges will rule at a later date.
So you guys, anybody out there excited for Earth?
Not me.
Not me either. I'd never want to go to Earth.
We're less than 30 days away, right?
It's going to be epically huge this year. They have reserved every table.
Wow.
That's crazy. I mean, I remember last year there was quite a bit of dead space in the middle.
There was, yeah.
It actually kind of made it nice. They would give you a spot to go to just kind of breathe for a moment, but not this year.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because at Earth last year, people would see me from halfway across the auditorium and wave me down.
Right.
You can't do that at Murph. That's just not possible.
Right.
So this year, I'm interested to see how well I can hide walking through everything.
Well, all you gotta do is go up on the balcony around. Nobody looks up there.
Well, that's the best place to be. I found. I chilled out up there a couple of times. And when you have a scavenger hunt stamp, that makes it really interesting.
Yes. I don't know if we're gonna do a mobile stamp this year. We're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah.
But I know, and the name escapes me. I've got it. I'll have to look it up. But there was the guy at Murph with the books who was doing the thumbs up stamp. Yep. That wasn't even actually part of it. When I went and talked to him, he said, "Look, if you do this at Earth, I want to be part of it." And I'm like, "Absolutely." Yeah, no problem with that.
We're going to have to start selling sponsorships to get on the scavenger hunt tour.
Well, maybe that's how we pay for the prizes next year. Like, you want in? We're going to be driving business to your booth.
There you go. That's a great idea.
So, but I had talked to that guy Dave Randolph, and he said that maybe they'd be just too busy to do it. So we'll have to see what they say. But their booth is always so crazy busy, and I hate to put the burden on them, but
absolutely,
it'll be easy enough to find other people.
Oh yeah.
So. I like prints like this. 18 minutes and it's done.
That's always nice once in a while. I meant to ask Ali if he was coming. I know he just had a new kid not too long ago, but I hope I see him there. He's always good to hang out with.
Yeah, he'll have that kid for a while. I mean,
Yeah, he'll be around. I mean. All right, now I gotta find some extruder parts. I think I know where they're at though.
nothing like pulling hot PETG parts off. I ain't got time for that cool down process. I love that printer, but I do have to get another one because I don't print anything on that thing anymore but PETG, and once in a while I'd like to run some PLA through it. So I'm looking for recommendations. If anybody knows of a filament that prints as close to chrome as possible.
Chrome?
Yeah, like a very, very shiny silver.
Otherwise,
Otherwise, I'll probably just print it and paint it. But so my server rack has a Stark Industries sticker across the bottom of it. This new one doesn't have a spot for a sticker, so I'm going to make a placard for the top. But I want it to be chrome on black.
nice.
Everybody's saying silk, silver. By everybody, I mean 2 people. Villager canceled their table from what you hear. No! Man.
Why?
Losers.
Silk silver is pretty shiny, I have to say, but I don't. Maybe that's the closest thing I've ever had to chrome. Maybe.
I got to move this large box of lightning damage stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
I have silk gold, but I think AIO Robotics sent me some silk silver as well.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just sent me both the golds.
The Guinness, yes. I haven't live streamed builds in a while. I did one with Shane not too long ago, last month maybe, but I really got to get back to that because there's some machines I need to get built. Dave Kennedy's here. Hello.
What's that?
Dave Kennedy is here. I always like to give him a shout out.
Matt, Jake from State Farm said not just any silk, must be polyalchemy. Yeah, I might have to look into that. Did Villager really cancel their table? I'd like to know the story behind that.
This is polyalchemy has a couple of different colors. They're not all silver. I don't remember which one this is, but it's not. I wouldn't say it was like chrome shiny.
Well, Jay Griffith said if I use an airbrush, the tester's chrome paint gives great results. So I might go that way. Smooth On has a nice video about using metal powder and Ecstasy 3D to put a polished metal finish on a model. See, I knew you guys would have the answer.
Some weird audio problems when Chris is talking. Maybe the noise is coming from me.
Well, you sound normal to me. Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was saying weird audio problems or weird adios problems.
Sounds like a loose table.
Look at this peg leg Paul guy trying to bait us for bingo squares.
What a troll!
Totally a troll. So I was finally able to register his YouTube name. He is official. He is officially youtube.com/peglegpaul. So I'll tell you what, that was really disappointing when I went in to do it, and it was like, oh no, your account has to be 30 days old, and I'm like, what? Because whoever gets 100 subscribers in 30 days. So father like son.
Let's see if I can.
Chris Cable hearing it as well. Sounds like crackling. Well, maybe it's me. Let me.
I was wondering maybe if your side was catching some of the audio, maybe.
All right. I will. I'm going to mute out because I'm going to change mics.
Okay.
I have to go down to my basement.
You have to put on the scuba suit. Walter's here. Hello, Walter. Yeah, hopefully the audio is clear now. Glenn is muted. Maybe it was backfeeding from his side. We'll see. It's Glenn. Okay, cool. We'll get it sorted out. Hey, Walter, is it hot in Florida? Yeah, I was going to say Glenn's got to put on the scuba suit to go to the basement. And that's a square. I still got to find... I have another extruder arm somewhere that I think would fit this. I don't remember where I put it. Looking for stuff endlessly should be a square. We should add that one because I do that all the time.
Totally agree. How's this? Does this sound okay? Is enough volume? Too much volume?
It sounds really good to me, and I don't hear the any backlash or anything like that.
Sad when the $500 mic doesn't do as good as the cheap one. Well, actually, this one I think was $200. So this isn't really a cheap one either.
Scuba Steve.
Ooh, that
might
have been a square right there, by the way. Anybody wants to figure that one out.
Sounds the same on my end.
Is it still bad, or it sounds the same? It's fine. Well, Poppy Ron can actually probably hear me in real life. Well, that is disappointing. I will reach out to that company and see what they have to say. So, I mean, I've tried a couple different channels. I've tried different settings. It's too bad because it's a really cool mic set, but
yeah. When it comes to, I know I'm probably off screen, but when it comes to microphones and audio equipment, I'm somewhat superstitious about brands because I've run into that type of thing before. You can spend a ton of money on it, and it's no better than the standards.
Right.
You know, Rhodes that way, AKG, Shure, Sennheiser, stuff like that. I mean, there's just certain types of microphones. I just buy that one, no matter how latest and greatest something is.
Well, I'll tell you what, those $30 fine ones work wonderfully for a $30 mic. The downside to them is that they only run on batteries, both ends only run on batteries. So I took it apart and hardwired it, and that they put out through a 1/4-inch phono jack instead of through the XLR.
Yep. Yep.
XLR.
How was my road trip? It was usual. It was a whole week of meetings and travel and flights and airports, and I love it.
Hey, that guy from 3DP Iceland is here. Dude, he's famous. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Prusa tweeted about him.
Yeah, he was standing next to some guy that I kind of remember meeting before, but I'm not sure who it was.
He's kind of a short guy compared to Martin. That's pretty impressive when well, okay, so one of two things happen. Either Martin is really impressive, which I truly believe he is. I mean, he's an awesome human being. Or there was nobody bigger than Martin at that event. like people are like, "Oh my God, you're on YouTube? Oh, you're the king of the event."
Robotic arm that prints at almost all angles. That sounds amazing. I'm very glad to be home. Always glad to be back home. Yeah, Prusa was going to interview him with a tweet. Well, 3DP Iceland Martin, he's impressive anyway. I mean, if you ever talk to him in person, and he is on YouTube, and he does some pretty impressive content. But if you know the whole backstory of what he actually does, that's the impressive part. I mean, like nobody else does this. I mean, it's like huge. I mean, anything I've ever done isn't as cool as that.
John Sharon said it was in Iceland. There's like 2,000 people there.
Dave, I've got some PSU, I've got some Ultim, and I've got some Peak. I've got a couple different types of Ultim. I've started with PSU, but just because I had the most of it. But they all print anywhere from 360 to 400.
3D Jimmy, I don't know how the actual insurance adjuster has taken to it, but the tech guy that came out and did all of the survey of the equipment was awesome. That happened this week, right? I didn't talk about that last week. That happened this Tuesday, but it was pretty funny because he gets here and he's well outfitted. I mean, he's got a tool belt with everything imaginable on there to test all the equipment and stuff. And we started right in the living room, and he's taking pictures of everything and checking everything out. And then we move to the kitchen, and then we get into the master bedroom where my surround sound stuff is. And it was sweet. We were sitting on the bed together, and but he said to me, he goes, "Man, your electric bill must be outrageous." I'm like, "Nah, it's two something a month." And he's like, "Really? With all of this stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's no big deal, whatever." So then we were talking about smart home. He goes, "Yeah, if you ever do a smart home, do what I call a dumb smart home. Like, don't have a whole rack full of equipment." And I said, "Oh, yeah, that's upstairs." And he goes, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You're not messing with me?" I'm like, "No." And he goes, "Wow, I kind of feel dumb now." I'm like, "Oh, it's all cool." So we get up here, and he comes around the corner, because my stairs are right here. And he comes around the corner, and he looks, and he goes, "Oh my God, you do 3D printing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a YouTuber, and we do all kinds of 3D print." "Oh, this is so sweet. Can I take pictures of this?" I'm like, "Sure, it's on the internet, but So, but he was really awesome. So then we sat right here because I had this covered with equipment, and we were just like sitting here as he was going through and making notes and taking pictures and stuff. And I'm like, "Well, you want to fire up a live stream? We could do a live stream." He's like, "No." But yeah, I told him that I would ask the community, being that it's somewhat related. He's very much into airplane models, but not necessarily like model kits, like super detailed. And now I forget, I should have written down the scale, but they're relatively large scale models, and they're made by Tamiya and those kind of companies. So if anybody's familiar with any of those, I would love to have you reach out to me, because he's always looking for new ones of those. But I'm like, dude, you could get a 3D printer and just print one. In fact, I was telling him about Martin and his six-piece Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
There's not very many pieces. You just put a couple pieces together.
I was watching. I didn't say anything in chat, but I was watching him assemble that the other day. That thing's massive.
Yeah, I see. He just said that he's just printing internal parts, so assembly's on hold at the moment. Is there a good video on how to set up Octoprint for S3D? Yeah, you go to uninstall programs and get rid of that S3D garbage. And no, I'm just kidding.
Octoprint for S3D, like a plug-in to send it from S3D over there.
Yeah, I don't know how S3D handles that. I know that. Well, in I think Cura, you have to download a plugin. But yeah, one of the other ones has a spot where you can put the API code in. Yep. In fact, that's how I just started that. I've got Octoprint pulled up over here.
Well, it's funny that's a Walter story, but like 3 months ago, Walter said, "Did you know you could send things to Octoprint with the slicer?" I'm like, "Yeah. It's like the greatest feature ever."
It's like how I do it. God, I can't even imagine having to do it by SD card.
No way.
I mean, that was why I built my original Octoprint, was so that I didn't have to keep moving that stupid SD card.
Absolutely.
So, Curmudgeon said, "Don't knock S3D." I've actually never tried S3D. I've played with it once, but I'm not going to share that, Matt. Shame on you. I didn't I got to play with it once, and it was a little confusing to me. I didn't take a lot of time to learn it, so.
Yeah, I haven't used it in ages. I have a license somewhere.
I've just always done well with that one that came with my Prusa printer.
I don't know, Glenn, what do you think? Cat 6 cables support a stepper motor? I think it would.
Yeah, current-wise, it'll handle it, but the problem is if it's a stepper motor that moves. Well, I guess if you did a stranded. I'm trying to think what gauge wire that I used. I used a heavier than you were supposed to, but I think that network cable would handle it. But I don't know. Even a stranded cable, I think it would stress it out after a while, and you'd end up with broken strands.
Yeah,
it's not really made to be moved. Get yourself some silicone wire if it's a moving part. If it's a non-moving part, yeah, your mileage may vary.
Yeah, BL Touch on a G-Tech i3. I've still been the G-Tech Pro B is one of the first printers that I ever had, and it's got a bunch of mods on it. I kind of want to go back and do a video about what its current state, because I haven't worked on it in years. But now what I know today, what I could apply to the machine that I haven't worked on for years, and just see what I did wrong. I know it's completely jumbled, and who knows what's wrong with it. That would be a pretty interesting video, though. I've even got my original enclosure and everything is just setting over there. I printed nothing but ABS on that machine because it was the only one I had an enclosure on, and it worked great for years. And it is not high class at all, I can tell you that.
I'm stealing this idea from Martin. I'm going to start having my cats on my streams to get more people to watch.
I love that shirt he has. I'm here for the cats.
I'm here for the cats. Yes, this is Mayhem. We ended up naming him Mayhem and Chaos, and this is Mayhem, who's not supposed to be on the bench.
Freddie prints on a Pro X. Yeah, I've seen the Pro X before. Yeah, Sean Gould. Yes, I've stolen all the Grove screws from it. That's probably a pretty good guess.
No, a cat is my thing. No, we have a very few rules in this house, but no cats on the kitchen counters, kitchen table, my desk, or the production table. Otherwise they're free to roam. So going back to BL Touch for a moment, I am truly grateful for Paris sending me that BL Touch for the FK1, but I think I might change over to a induction sensor.
2 thumbs up.
I mean, I asked for opinions before I did it, and everybody's like, "Oh, BL Touch, BL Touch, BL Touch," but I don't think it's as accurate.
I'm positive it's not.
So plus the moving parts always scare me. I'm afraid that pin's going to be down when that thing goes to move, and it's going to snap that pin off. And
I've done that twice.
So yeah. So I think I'm going to change it over to an induction sensor.
And those pins are like $15.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, she was kind enough to send me 3 BL Touches. I have 3 of them, but wow. I will run the bed, the bed probe multiple times and get different readings. And it's not like the springs that bed is solid. The bed's not moving. So, and I'm getting different readings every time. And so,
yeah. I've done repeatability tests on different types of probes before. I don't know that I have any content on it, but thousands of moves and a test, running hours and hours and hours at a time. I don't think there's anything as accurate as those cheap inductive sensors.
Yeah. Well, I was even thinking about using those for the bed leveling, for what I'm working on with, I'm using optical switches is what I ended up going with, but I was thinking about using those for the whole bed leveling.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they work pretty good. There's a few machines that I've seen over the years that do that, that use it upside down.
Yeah, well, that way you don't have to have it moving. Like
Right.
that way they'd be stationary on the frame, and the carriage would come down to it.
Right, absolutely.
But I ended up going with the optical sensors so that the blade could pass through it. You know,
Yeah.
so that it would trigger up here and get all level, and then it could actually go down to the print level. So, but I suppose with the inductance, I don't know. There's one spot I can get the print head off the bed, so I can bring that thing down past, but that always scares me too. Anytime you tell the printer to move that thing down below crash point.
Yeah. Capacitive. So capacitive work well on glass. Capacitive works okay if your environment never changes. If you have a really consistent environment, great HVAC, you know, where conditioning is done well, capacitive is fine. But even like 10% humidity either way.
Hand near it.
Yeah. You have to have it completely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I ran into on the CR10S Pro. Is it was capacitive, and
Right.
you'd go to snag the drip of filament off of there, and it would sense your hand, and it would stop. It thought it was at the bed.
Yeah, you would have to. Capacitive is really aggravating unless you have it in the exact precise environment where you want it to work with. So inductive is just so much easier.
So Town Llama said, flatten the bed, then properly tram it to the printer. No need to level after. And I disagree, because I don't care how many times I level that thing, it gets bumped out very easily. So I have the definite exception to that. That's why I'm going through all that. I'm so tired of leveling that thing, like to the point where I strap a dial indicator. I had forgot what it was called there for a moment. A dial indicator to it and run it down and level it that way to make it as easy as I possibly can. But I want to push a button and just have it do it.
Absolutely. I have the FT6, it's that real thin. I don't even know I don't even think it's got to be 3 millimeter. I don't know, but it's real thin aluminum. It's 720 by 350, and it's all over the place. It's got 8 leveling knobs on it, so you can't ever get it manually leveled correctly.
Holy cow!
Yeah, so it's all over, and the silicone heater is just kind of like right in the middle, so that adds some flex to it as well. But I put a $3 inductive sensor on there, and I run 49 points, 7x7, I think, and it prints perfect every time. So
yeah, I actually put an inductive probe on the AM8 and have never gone through the process of hooking it up. Yeah. Like, it's mounted and it's wired. I've just never gone through to make the software. I need to change the board in that thing. I got that one from you that was going to go into Taserface, the Frown King, and I decided not to, and so I need to put that into my AM8. Bing! Another print done. Love these fast prints.
Hello, Red Light Mike. How are you? CTC to something a little larger. Well, so CTC is a MakerBot clone. So in those days, even though they still sell that printer, the rectangle bed was pretty common, and that has since Prusa came on the scene so heavily, you don't see that rectangle bed anymore. If you could find one, if you could find the right one, like maybe off of a printer bot or something like that, sure, I think you could definitely upgrade it. I'm not sure how big MakerBot actually went, but you might be able to find a clone bed or something from one of those. But that's, like I say, we're kind of getting far away from those machines now. I mean, those things came out in like 12 or something. They've been around a long time.
Oh, way back in 12.
Well, yeah, when I was young. You say that, you think 12, man, that wasn't that long ago, but 3D printing time is way different than real time.
Right. Oh, that skirt was really stuck on there. My textured sheet is really starting to show wear. I've only ever printed on one side of it. Like I haven't used the other side of this one.
Yeah.
It's starting to show wear. And in fact, when I printed this in the right light, you can see there's images from a certain model that I printed a bazillion times at Christmas time for a certain fundraiser, Toys for Tots, and it left an impression in there.
John Strand, if you can get a hold of a Mark II 5 for $375 all day, man, there's well worth it, even if it's broke.
Heck yeah. Well, that's okay, Tom. Taserface is used to sitting in the corner being ignored. Somebody just out of the blue, not that long ago, commented on that video that I should have gotten extra T-nuts in the bag, which I didn't. And he was talking. I guess he had bought one, and his was doing fine. And I said, I think I just got a lemon. I mean, how do you screw up that printer, like that design of a printer? But man, that thing caused me a lot of grief.
Yeah. Yeah, John, let us know what you end up with on that. I'm curious.
What happens when Xander does something wrong? He gets a beating. Quit baiting me for squares.
So yeah,
he gets his channel taken away.
I'm going to figure out some sort of other design for this extruder. I don't know if I could like fit a Titan on here or not.
Now, with running that kind of heat, would you benefit from a Bowden setup? Or is it already Bowden? What is that printer?
It's this one is technically a Monoprice Ultimate, but it's a Wham Dupe 6 basically.
Yeah.
And I only picked this because of the enclosure. It was easy to enclose. But I don't know. It has a kind of it's got an odd setup because the extruder is so far from the hot end. So I might have to, I mean, I guess that's something else I need to look at is Bondtech. I don't know what kind of plastic they're using on those and what what would be a safe level to print with it.
Printed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the material is, but they're SLA printed.
Right.
Yeah, when I was over there talking to him at Murph, I was absolutely mesmerized by the story about how it just started in their garage, him and his two kids, and like he's like, yeah, this is my son. In fact, he printed the first couple that we ever made, and I'm like, that's amazing. Like I love the whole father and son thing. I love kids that work with their dads. Get one of those fake all aluminum Bondtechs. That's a good suggestion from Mr. Carl. Zesty nimble. I just love saying that.
Good old Zesty. John Strand, yeah, I could. We could see what Sanjay has to say about that.
$3D Jimmy, I did my Walter impression already today. Did you miss it? You looking for a square? Is that what it's all about? Hey y'all, it's Walter from Kuntry 3D. Coming to you live from Glenn's studio. Wait, I'm not pixelated enough. Wait. This might work. Hey y'all.
That's terrible.
Doesn't everybody have a screen sitting around in their room?
There you go, tight knuckle. I could get water cooled. I've never done a water cooled setup. I should totally do that. JC Productions, Mark 3S. Question is, I got an offer for $800 on Mark III with MU2 nozzle X Octopi plus screen printer has 345 days on it. So you get a Mark III S with an MMU2, 345 days of print on it, has a nozzle X, and an Octopi for $800. If I'm reading that correctly. I don't know. That's a pretty good deal. I mean, that's what, $1,300 worth of stuff there. Then I could boil water for coffee while printing. Absolutely.
Needs to be a shower door glass to get the right look.
Yeah, you like half of the square, it's like frosted. You get the spray.
Oh, that might work.
There you go.
Don't let the cat out of the bag, though.
Yeah. I was trying to slide that in there for you. Yeah, there you go. I could just fill the whole thing with mineral oil like they do with the PC boards.
Oh, yeah. Completely submerged.
I wonder what that would do to my acceleration in the jerk if I could just fill it completely to the top.
Like completely sealed.
Yeah.
It moves like the fluid has to like gush.
You have these crazy waves on the top of the water. That'd be awesome.
I'm just wondering what that would do to the filament. I think you'd have bed adhesion issues.
You think we'd have adhesion issues, but you'd never get a jam.
No, it would be well lubricated. You measure the physical surface by tapping the nozzle to the build plate. It's the general BL Touch idea, only fast and way more robust. A BL Touch would drive nuts so slow. Oh yeah, do the FK1 bed with, I think I was doing 60 points or something on that thing. It took forever.
Yep. Just
put a fill dry box at the end. It does magic, I've heard.
Now almost all this is just pining for bingo squares.
Yeah, well, that's what most of it is anyway. But at least they're paying attention this way.
Absolutely, I never thought anybody would pay attention to this. So.
I think the live stream bingo is amazing, and I'd like to see it take off and others do it. That way, I would tune into other people's live streams because they're always so boring. I love how Amazon sends you these notifications like, hey, are you still interested in this? Or, hey, we found you this. And it's like, of course you did. I just looked at that.
No, I found it.
Or they're like, hey, look what we found for you today. And I'm like, that's the thing I ordered yesterday. You don't? The noxious ABS fumes could be captured by the mineral oil as well.
There you go.
Convert the FK1 to a powder sinistering setup and forget bed leveling. That would be fun, but I don't think I'm capable of building such a thing.
Yeah, that is something, Glenn, you might look into though. The piezo, where you make, since you've got an aluminum bed. Well, you have a PEI sheet though. Yeah. Because that still work. That allows you to just tap the nozzle for leveling. Yeah, but if you start tapping your nozzle down onto a PEI sheet, you're going to burn a hole in it. Right. I mean, I have a printer that does that. It lives over there on the floor now. Just tired of it burning through. It burned through my Gecko-Tech sheet. Of course, it wasn't the piezo. I'm talking about the Robo R1. It used the switches on the X. Yep. Horrible design. When I first seen it, I thought, wow, this is a cool idea. And then I actually used it, and I'm like, wow, this is a piece of crap. Yeah, I actually gave that printer away, and I haven't gotten it to the kid that I gave it to yet. Apparently, he wasn't excited about it either. Yeah, Duet has some really cool stuff like that, like the Smart Effector. They've got a new filament sensor out. They got a few little add-ons for their boards that are really well done. Duet does pretty much everything top notch.
You do strain test cold, not hot. Yeah, but then when you heat everything up, it changes shape. I mean, technically not my bed. The bed being mixed 6 plate, it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be dimensionally stable. It'll be fine. I'll put a inductance probe on there, and then it'll be amazing. So let me ask you something, because like the Creality CR10S Pro uses the inductance probe that's like this big and round, and then Prusa uses the Pinda probe that's the size of a sewing needle. They're like massively different in sizes. And the one that I bought for the AM8 is what is it, 8mm, I think.
Yeah.
Is there a huge difference between an 8mm probe and a 12mm probe? I mean, is there a reason to use one over the other?
Probably not on aluminum. Maybe there is, like with iron, what they're intended to be used for. Because capacitive sensors are always bigger. I think they're a standard size. But the inductive ones, yeah, you can go to 14. I mean, you can get giant ones. But no, I mean, it's what you're using them for. 8 is just as good as anything else.
Yeah, it just makes me curious on why, unless they just got them really cheap. Maybe they got a crazy great deal on them or whatever, and that's why they went to the. I'm thinking that's a 12 on there.
But that's probably a capacitive sensor.
It was originally.
Oh, okay.
So it isn't any longer, because I was tired of putting my fingers up underneath there to clear the nozzle and the thing freaking out. So plus it wasn't accurate. So
yeah, no, I don't. They probably just got a good deal on it. The biggest thing is 5-volt versus 6 to 36 volts. 5 volts are somewhat harder to find, but some of the 6 to 36 will work at 5 volts, but not all of them.
Yeah, I think I ran into that when I was buying the one for that, and that one is 5 volts that's on there.
Yep.
So, and I think I bought a couple of those, so I might put them onto that. I bought those back when the shipping out of China was cheap.
Right. Elf Pimp, that if you're talking about the original red PCB, that's a 214. That's the original Mark IIB bed or whatever they call it. I believe if that's the one you're replacing, yeah, it's the, I think actual size is 214.
Sean Gould asked you, any thoughts on filament jam sensor as opposed to just a filament runout sensor?
Yeah, there are a couple of people that have the jam sensor, but like I say, Duet's got one where they're actually metering the filament. They're counting it with an encoder as it comes by. That I would say that's probably the only way that you're going to get it done. But that sensor is like $55 on top of you have to own a Duet board that is also somewhat pricier than others.
You have to own you should own a Duet board. Everyone should own a Duet board.
You should have at least one Duet in your arsenal. But yeah, that's the only one that I'm currently aware of, but I'm sure there are others.
Mad Mike 8 said, generally the larger the probe, the longer the detection distance. That's interesting.
Yeah, I knew there's, they go through 2mm, 4mm, 8mm distance.
That might be something that I want to look into then if I decide to use that for the leveling sensor instead of the optical.
Yeah, I've never had it. I've got a lot of 2mm ones and I've got some 8mm ones, but it really, I mean, we're probably talking like on a micrometer level, but I haven't really noticed a lot of gain in distance on aluminum.
So we're not talking like one triggers a centimeter away and the other one triggers a millimeter away.
Well, I think that's what that measurement is intended for, but I believe that's rated for iron. I could be completely wrong, but
yeah, because as I understand, those were originally developed for like assembly line type automation for detecting things
right. I actually have some that came out of a factory. I probably can't find them now, but all this stuff is 6 to 36 stuff. And I mean, it's not that big a deal to make a circuit for it, but like this one. These probably cost like thousands of dollars, but like that. Now that's an inductive flow.
Wow. Yeah, you should be able to pick stuff up like 6 feet away.
Yeah, these are for like, like steel doors, on like ovens and things to make, the safety to make sure it's shut, things like that. So yeah. But that could be fun trying to put that on the printer. 4mm is generally 2 on aluminum, 8 is 4 on aluminum. Okay. I need to get some more, I guess, and take some tests. Because I haven't played with that in a while. %, less than iron. Gotcha. Detective Chevy in St. Louis with that one. Absolutely. Yeah.
They're talking about the issues with the jam sensor, that they don't work right.
Yeah. Yeah, that all that code is in 2.0, I'm sure. And there are a couple of, if you look out there, like on Thingiverse even, there's a couple of projects to build one, to try to make an accurate jam sensor. I don't know their current status though, how well it's working out.
Yeah. There's a fly buzzing around my camera and it's putting like a shadow when it flies over the lens. I'm being attacked by a giant fly.
You're gonna see a cat fly by here in a second.
Yeah, they had, when I fired up the camera today, they had it turned. Like you could see like way past the wall. Reminded me of James's video that he made about the contest at IRF.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched that this morning.
No, you don't have to move the camera. I wanted it where it was. He's a funny guy. I run an ABL with an octocoupler so I can run any voltage I like through the probe, and when it detects, it senses ground. Yeah, but that's a lot of extra stuff. The Duet new one is supposed to be better, but they got me twice for the laser. They're not going to be their tester. Oh, so Stephen, you had problems with the laser detector, not the new detector.
Gotcha.
That fly's a Walter drone keeping an eye on you.
Tin tape, yeah, I've heard tin tape would work like that, but I've never tested it. But yeah, you're 12mm diameter, right? You gotta have something to be able to get through it.
Got him.
Nice.
No more camera lens for you, you little bugger. So, but if you're using glass, for the bed, technically I guess depending on what the tape is, but I mean you're putting that glass on top of aluminum anyway. Why would the inductive sensor still pick up the aluminum bed?
The only most of the time you are correct. They're going to put it on top of aluminum, but a lot of the beds were just that red PCB with glass on it.
Oh yeah, I got you. Like the Robo is a glass bed with a heater.
Yeah,
to it. Who doesn't have an aluminum bed?
That's the aluminum bed. I didn't really start seeing the aluminum bed until ANET came out.
Well, that's because they're innovators.
They are innovators because it was 3 cents cheaper to make it that way.
Prusa is selling the Pinda V2 for around 13 pounds. Yeah, except for to get it here, it's like another $35 in shipping.
$84.
That wasn't very family friendly. Well, not to the fly, it wasn't.
Copper tape. Yeah, somebody was telling me about copper tape too. I had a comment that I should get some copper tape. I don't think I've ever seen copper tape.
$4 million a roll.
Yeah,
Copper's the new gold.
it absolutely is.
Inductor will not sense aluminum through glass. My apologies, when I seen tin, I just assumed that it was foil tape, like aluminum foil, but I guess we're talking about actual tin tape.
Yeah, if you had like 10 millimeter thick aluminum, it'd probably get it.
10 millimeter?
Yeah,
I got 6.
there you go.
But I'm not putting glass on top of it. I hate that shiny. I hate that shiny that glass produces.
That Mad Mike, I didn't think about that until right now. You are absolutely right. The guitar pickups are wrapped in copper tape.
Remember, kill a fly, all its relatives show up to its funeral. Well, you kill anything and all the flies show up to the funeral. That's very interesting. But yeah, I definitely think that's the route that I'm going to go. And again, I'm greatly appreciative to Paris for sending me those BL touches, and you know, on a small bed, maybe, but that big of a bed with that much fluctuation, I can't handle it. Another print done. This one's going to have to be shaved, though. It doesn't go down in this hole. This hole's not the same size.
I'm telling you, I would have just re-drilled every one of those things.
Well, I could just get a hammer and bang it in there. I'm sure it'd be all right. But it sticks up just like a 0.5 millimeter or so, and it's going to irritate me. And now it's stuck because I really pushed it in there.
Yeah, which MMU are we talking? Is it a Prusa clone MMU, or are you talking about another design? Because I've seen there are a couple. What's that one called? The Chameleon or something? There's a couple cheaper models that have been out for a while that I've never really heard anything. I've seen them. I've never seen anybody have one work. Yeah, the thing that comes to mind on the filament sensor, you're right, rotary encoder. I don't know what Palette uses a rotary to count it as it comes out, and I don't know what one of those things costs, but that would be perfect.
Yeah, I had thought about making a spool holder for those big 10-pound spools from IC3D, and use a rotary encoder to detect as the printer was pulling, and then have a stepper drive that roll, so that it didn't put all the strain on the extruder.
Yeah.
Patent pending. Nobody seal it. Trademark. Every hammer.
So what else? So what do we got at Earth? We've got. I guess I could try to make a car. For that competition, it just seems like every time I always have really these grandeur ideas. I'm going to get all this stuff done every time I go to one of these things. You know, I'm going to talk to this person, and I'm going to go see this, and I'm going to do that, and then I get none of it done whatsoever.
Did you see 3D printing professor's car?
I saw the tweet that he was like, what? It was Knight Rider, right?
Yeah, it's pretty epic. He built the circuit to flash the lights, and
Yeah.
it's pretty epic. Yeah, I don't mine from last year is around here somewhere. Probably in a bin by this point, but not in the bin, just in a bin.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I did. I wasn't really entering last year, to win. I just wanted to enter.
Right.
And the scout that checked it in, he's like, it's a little light. Do you want to go put more weight on it? I'm like, nah, it's fine. Just run it. Xander is a multi first place champion in the Pinewood Derby for the Scouts. Because
Nice.
his dad is a little crazy over the top and takes things too far. Give Philidry a stamp. Not if they're not going to be there.
Yeah. JC Productions. Yeah, I did answer. I think 800 for all that stuff is probably a pretty good deal. Like I said, that's quite a bit of stuff, especially if it's all put together.
345 days on it of printing. Now, is that like actual print time?
That's a lot of days.
Yeah, if yeah.
A-Team band. There you go. Really, though, the Fun in the Country Basement should have like something like the Mystery Machine.
Yeah, so if it's 345 days of printing, that's 8,200 hours. But if the printer itself is just 345 days old, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good deal for all of that. I mean, if you have a need for it. You should have an RV, Walter's Makerspace.
Yeah, there you go.
I think a bobsled with the three of us on there. Of course, you and Walter each had your heads modeled. My head would just be the Fun King.
Yeah, whipped cream to hot chocolate. Yeah, I think I'm out of the food business. Yeah, I'm just waiting on the kit. So
Cool Runnings.
I saw Brooke Drum was working on Belt again.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would be kind of hard to stop doing what you've been doing. I mean, I realize that it would be like a, kick to the butt at first, but it'd be hard to just stop doing what you were pouring your life into.
Absolutely. Well, he's got so many years in it by now. He actually moved to Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's about 4 or 5 hours from me.
You guys hang out on the weekends?
Yeah, me and Brooke. Brooke's I don't know if you've met him. He's a really intense guy.
Yeah. Yeah, where was it? I think that was Earth last year.
Yeah, he was Earth last year.
Yeah, and then I seen a tweet that they're looking for a home for Marlin. And I'm thinking, we should all just get together and move to like one area, like create a town based on 3D printing. Like around here, here in Florida, we have communities for everything. There's a RC car airplane type community, and there's a actual like the place called Jumbo Lair where everybody owns an airplane, including John Travolta. Like there's all these communities, so we could just have a 3D printing community. Everybody's house has to be 3D printed.
They're all just concrete round houses.
Yeah. I watch those videos and they're like, this house was all 3D printed. And like you watch the process, or it'll say like this house was completely 3D printed in just 3 days. And I'm thinking, my block crew could build, build the walls on that thing in like 8 hours. Like it took you 3 days.
Absolutely, Carl. We'll make it happen.
What's that? What?
He just said we need to talk about the Squire kit at Earth. I'm like, sure.
Who wants a smaller printer though?
So he's visually impaired. What's the best way to tell if you're getting a good first layer? I think you could put together G-code if your bed was level and everything was kosher. I think you could put together G-code where it paused and moved out of the way so that you could check the skirt with your finger. And then if it was good, you could hit resume and it would take off. And then you could kind of assume from there that you were good to go.
Yeah, you'd almost need two skirts though. You need a skirt and then the pause and then come back and pour another skirt like just to the inside of that before it starts to help purge.
Yeah.
Because even on the Prusa, when it's got that purge strip, but if I don't print a skirt, it messes up the beginning of the first layer, like where it first starts. It's like it needs to be printing and then immediately continue printing. But
yeah, it actually kicks a retract a bit when it moves over there to start that skirt.
Yeah,
and it skirts 3 high as well, in case that you're too close. So if the feeding isn't absolutely correct, it will reprime for 3 layers. So yeah, I mean, I think you could work up some G-code though that you could test it, because that's how I test it, is touching it. Like when you're doing the calibration, I'll go around and touch it to see how flat it is,
or if it just like flakes off the bed immediately.
Right. Yep. But you can actually you can tell. I mean, you get the feel down to how smushed something is. So yeah, I think you can do it.
Well, and then like depending on how visually impaired, like obviously looking at black filament on the textured heat bed is really hard.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to be so like you could set up a profile to have a spring steel sheet with a Gecko Tech on there. If you were printing dark filament, then you could be on a light colored bed and vice versa, which would help you with your contrast. Motorhead Mitch is leaving. He's decided that eating food is more important than we are.
All right, then.
I do not believe there has been any bingos. How far away are you?
I don't know. I had to do like actual human things like eating, so.
Oh, so apparently Xander also feels eating is more important than playing bingo?
But did you have any bingo things?
Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes they just happen spontaneously. Carl said we need to be spoon-fed some blocks. No, it's when I ask you guys to spoon-feed me things. It's not that way. It doesn't work that way. No, I have to actually ask them to give me something in the form of being... I don't really need anything right now. 104 viewers and only 33 likes. Hit that like button. What is wrong with you people? And who gave
Shameless plug.
2... No, that's not a shameless plug. Who gave 2 thumbs down, losers? No, a shameless plug is when I say things like, hey, have y'all guys checked out 3D Fuel Filament? 3D Fuel Filament is some great filament, and I got some really good colors. See, that's a shameless plug.
Oh, I'm really surprised you didn't step in with Duet.
Well, we did technically shamelessly plug Duet earlier.
That's true.
So, and BL Touch, honestly. I mean, I'm talking about not using it. So Carl said bingo.
They want to see the plugs on your tabletop. They want to see your progress.
Oh, well, they're already in the tabletop. I know why. I was going to use a camera and show them like this. Here's the plugs. But what they truly want is the overhead shot of all the different plugs in my table.
Now, chat, don't ever say I don't help you with anything, because I almost got him with that one. Almost.
Now the bingos are starting. It does have like it seems to be like time wise, like right about now is when the bingos start to happen. So like you only have 3 squares. Oh, then you definitely have not been paying attention. Oh no, there's no way you have that bad of a card.
Can you throw me down the stairs so that I can get another bingo?
I'm not going to throw you down the stairs, Xander.
I think next stream we do.
What's that?
I think the next build stream I do is going to be the all thumbs down stream. So I don't want any thumbs up, none. I want to see how many downs we can get. Because it doesn't matter. I mean, YouTube has no bearing on those numbers.
Now we have 5. Now we have 5 because people are being funny. Ha ha ha. No, now 6. Look, 6. No, it's interaction.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I guess if you have like significantly more thumbs down than thumbs up on a video, it just pulls it out of it won't recommend it to people.
Yeah.
I mean, if YouTube is honestly recommending these videos to people, they're crazy.
Well, especially live streams. I mean, I know a lot of there's a few people out there that can't watch it with us, but and there's a few of you that are kind of diehard FKB fans, and I love you for that. But not a lot of people are going to go back and just watch this stream.
God, no.
So, I mean, even build streams, not a lot of people do that, depending on the machine that you're building. But I totally would do the all thumbs down stream. I think that'd be hilarious.
We'll just be mean to everybody for the...
just try to bait them into thumbs down.
I don't want any right now. I'm still on for a half hour. Go away. Stop. I don't want any pizza right now.
Yes.
If you don't like the video, press the thumbs down button twice.
Absolutely.
You guys are so funny. Yeah, what was it that I had? Sometimes the chat moves faster. Oh, yeah, Mad Mike Gate had asked if this was a Harbor Freight workbench. It is. It's actually 2 of them. Now that I've already overheaded, I can go back to overhead. So I've actually got 2 of them. And then what I did was this one that I sit at, I didn't mount the drawers in the front of it. Otherwise, I couldn't sit underneath it. And this one has the drawers, but they're opening that way. And in fact, the monitor that I look at is sitting on the drawers. So,
oh, nice.
But it was the only negative to it was these holes in the bench, which are for the the posts, the clamping posts. But your stuff would fall through it. So after dealing with it for like a year, I finally started printing out a plug that took me all of like 6 seconds to design.
Blew a stepper driver on their Duet. Ouch.
Ooh. How do you do that? Just shorting it out? Not wired right? How do you?
Too high a current, I guess.
The current's all controlled software.
Yeah. I don't know. We're getting ready to find out, I guess. You're watching the December 30th FKB just before this started? Well, good on you, man. Good on you.
Yeah, well, stuff like that's fun to go back and just to see how bad it was. Honestly, I never really thought that these streams would work. I didn't think they would actually go on.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that one thing though about these that I'm glad that they've just stayed. We're just hanging out with, people we know. It still feels like that. It just, we're not really doing anything specifically here. I don't have to get a job done. I'm just,
No, but that was the whole thing. It was to get jobs done, the little tasky things that you wouldn't normally shoot a video for anyway. I mean, look how many of these that we've done where, today I'm not really doing anything. Honestly, this is the most I've 3D printed in months. I've been printing pretty heavily in the last 2 days because of working on the router mount and the desk plugs. So,
yeah, I've noticed a lot on FKB that I will get halfway into something and then completely stop working on it.
Well, that's because if you get too into whatever you're doing, then you don't get to read the chat. And
Absolutely. That we remember to tell Walter this. Wilco, this is the first time that he's finally catching the stream live and no Walter. So we have somebody that is a Walter fan.
Wilco is the one that is sending the video cards to Walter.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Wilco.
Elf Pimp said, "Oh, for God's sakes, I'm an idiot. I've been calling Glenn Walter. They'll never let me catch you in person, man. We're going to go round." No, Walter's the guy that looks like this. Hey, y'all. Walter, 3 days.
Well, and to be fair, you have been both people today, so he could get confused.
I've been both people multiple times in life. Yes, we miss Walter too.
We always.
I know that I pick on Walter a whole lot, but I love him like a brother. Yeah, we were talking at lunch, and because I had said something about, I don't even know how it came up, but I said, well, technically my second job, I am a comedian, and I said it's just amazing the chemistry the three of us have, I don't know, like. If it wasn't for 3D printing, if the three of us would have ever been like, hey, I want to hang out with you, we just come from completely different backgrounds.
Absolutely. Yeah. Walter and I have discussed that before. It's like, there's no way. I mean, it's just that it's not in the cards for us. But
well, I mean, like you and I have things in common as far as we're computer people, but we do completely different things computer-wise.
Absolutely.
So even then, like our paths would have never really crossed, Well, Walter's a programmer. You never figure that, but Walter's a programmer. But again, different aspects of the computer industry. So
absolutely.
Elf Pimp says, I am on my stomach recovering from back injury watching on a D Galaxy S4 Active. Ooh. Man, just push it really close to your face like this, and it'll seem like a big screen.
Yeah, planar might not work on the belt. Might not.
I was just trying to get caught up.
Yep.
Oh. Can't believe the weekend's almost over.
It's over just as I didn't get home till late Friday, so it's been a pretty quick weekend for me.
And then back to the grind in the morning?
Absolutely.
Well, Mondays are my least favorite days because I have staff meetings on Mondays. So it just, like, I don't do any work on a Monday because the meeting takes the bulk of the time. And then by the time I get going on anything, I can't get anything done. But I hate it so much. I feel unproductive on Mondays.
Yeah. My Mondays, I'm our team lead, so I have to put together the meetings and the agendas and stuff, and we have those on Mondays. So the morning starts really early, but usually the afternoon's okay.
Well, one of the bosses, we took a long lunch on Wednesday and went to the shooting range on company time. It was pretty nice.
That is pretty nice.
So they just built one of those. I don't know if they're nationwide or not. I know they got a couple locations, but it's called Shooters World. We actually bid the job. We bid the job to do some masonry work for them and didn't get it, but it's really fancy. Like they have a juice bar, and then they have like a little lounge area with tables and chairs. And if you're a member, which I think their cheapest package is like $300 a year, but if you're a member, they have a freestyle fountain in there, and you get unlimited soft drinks while you're there. And
excellent.
I mean, it's really, really fancy. It's big. I mean, they have rifle, pistol, all the different ranges, and then they have a huge store with everything you could ever imagine. But it was nice to go and blow off some steam.
Yeah, we actually have different setups. I've got webcams that I'm currently using directly with StreamYards, and Glenn, you have a Handycam output, correct?
Yeah, I've got the Sony Handycam that runs through an Elgato Cam Link, the USB one, not the card inside. The Cam Link is the USB one, and then I have this 920 that I just about threw off the desk there because it sprung up. This was a lamp that I bought on clearance at Amazon, and then I took the lamp head off of it and mounted the camera to it. And then I have another one of these. I don't think I've ever done this before. I have another 920 on one of those octopus tripods that I have just wrapped around the lighting on my fan. And just so everybody knows, those front two light bulbs are unscrewed because it puts a glare on my bald head.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, it shines real bad. Not that I don't now, but like it shines really bad right here when I have the bulbs in there. So Thomas Morales is here.
Excellent. 70-inch flat screen. That would be an awesome touchscreen.
Xander wants to know if me talking about the glare on my head counts as a bald joke. Does it count if I make the bald joke myself?
Yeah.
I want to say it counts.
All right, you can have
Thank
this.
you, Chris.
You can have this. Yeah, it's the actually it's the 4K Cam Link. They didn't. The 1080p one was long gone by then. It's only a 1080p camera, but it's a 4K Cam Link until I get my new fancier 4K camera that I wouldn't even be able to. I don't have any monitor that plays 4K.
Well, same here. I can do 4K video, but I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be able to know. In fact, these monitors that I have here on the table aren't even 1080p. They're 1050. They're 1050 pixel.
Really?
So, yeah, they're. I think they're a little bit older. I bought them from the University of Florida fairly cheap, and I got 3 that matched. So, whoop.
Nice.
My plan was to get myself 3 new 27s for my desk and move those 24s over here, but funding didn't allow for that to happen.
Yes. In my office, so I've got 2 desks in my office, and they're back to back. So I use on one side for work for my actual job. When I work from home, I have 2 24s, and on the other side, I have just 1 32. And then I use my laptop screen as well as kind of like a little side screen. I just plug my laptop into that. It works out pretty well.
Yeah, I have to have them all the same size or it drives me crazy.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I mean, when we first set up over here, because what I ended up doing was the computer that I used as my daily computer came over here, and I built a new computer for my daily computer. So, but I kept my old monitor. So I had a 32-inch TV here, 17-inch, I think it was here, and then a 24-inch TV here as my 3 monitors. So I had a 720p. I don't even know what this thing was, but it was awful and all faded and horrible. And then no, that was a 720 television as well. So yeah, I'm quite grateful to have what I have now. So, and they're good. I mean, they're good monitors. Dell makes a decent monitor. I don't know who actually makes them for Dell. I doubt they make them, but
yeah. What is it? They always say it's like Samsung makes 90% of all screens or something like that.
Yeah, there's only like 3 major screen manufacturers in the world.
Right.
Aaron Seeger asked me if I buy a lot from the university. Is it online based or you go to auctions? It's online auctions is what it is. It's publicsurplus.com, and it's for a whole bunch of places. University of Florida just happens to be the closest one to me. So, but yeah, so I've actually bought quite a bit of stuff from them.
Yeah, so talking about ABS fumes and being concerned. So it's the styrene that causes the problem. I don't know. I mean, there are numbers out there that you can get of particulate, particulate counts in a certain amount of airspace. I always kind of go by the rule that, I live next to a major city and the air quality is probably worse than that particulate count. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't sit in the same room with it constantly. But
yeah, I would think if you're going to print a lot of it, just build your setup and vent it outside, and then don't worry about it.
Yeah, that would be the best thing to do.
So, and I mean, even if, because like my plan, if I was ever going to print ABS, is the room that's that way. There's a window at the end. I would have set it up in there. That room's actually not currently air conditioned, so it stays nice and toasty warm in there, which would work out for ABS. And then there's a window at the end, and I would just make an adapter where you open the window and put it in, kind of like one of those portable air conditioning uses, and then close the window down on it and just let it vent outside.
Yep, absolutely. I kind of miss your old area. I like the desk. I kind of like the circle desk that you had where you and Xander were kind of close.
Oh, I wouldn't want to show you what it looks like right now. I think there might be a couple small children lost in there. There's so much crap over there right now. But yeah, it was. What was fun about that area was like having the pegboard and all this stuff hanging behind it. And I want to change this. I just haven't decided how I want to do it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so tight though, because the space that we sat in is where I sit to do my work. There's a little bit of a recess in the desk where I sit. So it's only slightly wider than my chair. So then, here's all of a sudden Xander and I packed into this thing, and to get the height and stuff we needed, I had a board. It was actually a leaf out of an IKEA table that I put on blocks up on top of there, so that it was taller and we could get more of it in the camera, and then the camera was like, had to be way back behind the monitors to get both of us in. There was a lot of work in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I could just like zoom in and just have it on my face. I know a guy that would huff it. He puts resin on his skin for kicks. I think I know who you're talking about, but we don't want to talk about that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to go back and watch my early videos, not for the space that we were in, but for how fun Xander was.
Yeah.
When he would actually participate and stuff.
Hey, Mad Mike said, ever since I started sniffing paint, anytime somebody makes a joke like that, I always think of, I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue.
Picked the wrong week to stop sniffing model glue.
Exactly.
That's a square for anybody that missed the one earlier. If you missed the Scuba Steve reference.
Scuba Steve. Conditioner is better. Yeah, well, every time I go to the airport, I have to talk about airplane with someone.
Oh, that movie is so funny. I don't think Xander's ever seen that. Oh, you got something right here on your mouth. It's when the banana falls. Just big and it's white and with a red stripe. Kind of looks like a Tylenol. And then they take every picture off the wall, but the one that looks like the plane. That's my kind of humor, anyway.
Yeah.
The National Lampoon type stuff.
Oh yeah.
God, it's good stuff.
That's one of my favorite parts about Christmas is you get to watch Christmas Vacation. And when he goes off on the rant, and he's swearing and everything, and then he just stops and goes, "Where's the Tylenol?" I absolutely love that part.
Is my name spelled Glenn or Glenn? Oh, that would be Glenn with 2 N's. That's a square.
Don't call me Shirley.
Yeah, you only got 15 minutes to finish filling out those bingo cards.
Yeah. Bryce Swartzwell is here. Hello. Haven't seen you in a minute or two.
What is the disease where you can't?
What now? Real deal PLA go to an what temperature? I'm not sure what we're getting at there.
Chris Glenn, real deal PLA. Yeah, you're gonna have to clarify that for us.
Well, good to have you back.
Quick start a discussion about slicer or slicer. That comment doesn't make any sense to me, Patrick.
Yeah, I stopped using that program so I could stop getting in fights about it.
Yeah, I haven't totally moved over to Prusa Slicer yet, just because I haven't taken the time to do it. So
It's fabulous.
you know, as much as I hate cloud-based stuff, I wish that like the profiles were all stored that way, so I could log in on this computer and have my profiles that are on that computer. Because to slice anything, I have to go do it over there, and I mean that's like 15 feet away.
Absolutely.
Oh, speaking of,
Yeah.
another plug's done.
Nice.
Boy, I let that one cool all the way off. I must have been busy talking.
That's why I push everything to my data directory so I can just pull it up on any PC I have. Because I use like 3 different ones.
And that's a bingo for me too. Peg Leg Paul wants to know, what is the diathesis that makes you unable to have sweets? Unendable. What is the diathesis that makes you unendable to have sweets?
If you come back with correct spelling and punctuation, then you can have that square.
He's over there cracking up. You can't.
Roswell, New Mexico.
I mean, there's so many better ways to try to bait me for that one.
Too bad he's too young for it. He should have just came in with a Wilford Brimley.
Oh my God, we were sitting around one night and like I started pulling those up. If you guys want just some good humor and you've never checked, just Google Wilford Brimley diabetes. On the image, the Google image search, there are some memes out there that are hysterical.
Walter is in Disney, I believe. That's like his second home.
Yeah, it's always funny because he's always saying how it's his wife that wants to go. His wife wants to go. And then it's his birthday weekend. And where is he? Disney.
Disney. Yep.
It's a fun place to visit, but the crowds just drive me insane.
Is Walter goofy? Absolutely he is.
Actually, I know somebody that, isn't anymore, but was a friend of Goofy, which would be the proper way to say that that's who you are.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that picture, Chris Lane, actually, now that you mention it. Peg Leg Paul, I'm not printing anything.
Have you guys met Miss Fun King? I have. She's pretty great. She is pretty great. Let me tell you what, as far as wives go, she's pretty amazing. She also loves the fact that that's a square.
So I have a slight dilemma on printer builds, and the printer builds are not that cheap, but I wanted to do one of these builds, and now I kind of want to do 2. So
2 of the same printer?
Yeah. So after we did the Prusa Bear stream, we did it with Jim and Sergio and Warkaki. We were talking about bear builds, and he had a purple frame, and then I got to looking around, and I was like, well, they have a orange one. So I was like, okay, well, I got to get an orange frame, put orange parts on it, total orange Prusa build. Well, I accidentally didn't get the orange frame. I got a gold one. And it's called the Gold Bear Kit. And Harborough gummy bears are actually called Gold Bears. That's their official name. So now I really want a gold bear, but I also still really want the orange one. Dilemmas.
Keep building 3D printers just because of the colors.
Absolutely. Well,
I just run on the theory that they should all be black and yellow, and then you don't have a problem.
Well, but then you also have the problem, if I build a gold bear, what color plastic do you use? Because I mean, you could get really outrageous with gold, but I'm not sure what would be available in like PETG.
Yeah, you're not going to get like the silk type golds in PETG.
Yeah, first world problem.
Do the part. So probably black then.
Yeah,
black and gold, which is really close to black and yellow. Completely acceptable.
No, I'd be doing them all from scratch.
So to build a bear from scratch, price-wise compared to buying an MK3, where are they?
It's quite a bit more.
Quite a bit more to build from scratch?
Yeah. It is actually cheaper to order a Mark III kit and build one.
Than just scrap the frame.
Yep. But it would just kill me to do that. There's no way I could do it.
No, that would be tough. That'd be tough.
Colin says that's not true. Well, I'm going to do all the numbers and the math and prepare the spreadsheets for this. And that will be part of this project. The documentation will follow. So,
well, and again, I'm talking like pound for pound, equal quality parts too.
Yeah, right.
You know, I'm not talking like cheap knockoff stepper motors instead of using LDOs.
His Prusa bear, well, Prusa-ish bear kit, yeah. We're talking LDO, Bondtech. I mean, old machine.
If you put your old ANA AA parts on the Prusa frame, on the Prusa frame, I thought he meant like put it on the bear frame. I'm like, that's an AMA. that's that right there.
Yeah, I know it's hard to believe, Chris Galata. Numbers and math, I know, but it's simple math though, nothing crazy.
Xander's just going through his bingo card, asking a question for every square. It doesn't work that way, you cheater. And it really that answer needs to come from Chris, ideally. And actually, you missed it. We talked about that right in the beginning. Because there's a contest at Earth for that.
There is, yes.
You'll have to ask Chris about that contest. If Fugitech clone build was $550. If you did the many official parts as you can, it would cost the same, if not more, than Prusa official.
Yeah.
What?
Somebody else said something. Oh, now I forgot what it was. Oh, Eincy or Duet. It'll go Eincy first, but I have a Duet. I have a new Duet board that I haven't talked about yet. I might give that a try. Warkaki is the crazy bear guy, and man, he's got some crazy configurations. But he has one that has a Duet, and I think he's got single start screws or whatever. But I mean, it's completely off the rails. He has rails. In fact, he has linear rails on it.
Chris Lane here said the Railcore benchies are going to be some tough competition at Earth.
I would like to. I'm ready to see them. Take the old frame and have it anodized again. Yeah, I'm not even sure what is involved in the anodizing process. That would be a nice YouTube video for me to look up to learn about. I think Railcore for hobby kits at printing at speed are probably pretty hard to beat. I mean, you might be able to beat it on a Delta. I don't know.
Are there still issues in the 3D printing community regarding printers catching fire? I suppose it happens more than we really know that it does, but I would say 99.9% of the time it's user error. Like it wasn't built right or it wasn't maintained. I mean, no different than taking any other piece of industrial type equipment or appliance and not, you know, it'd be like putting a piece of toast in your toaster and then taping the lever down. You know, like if you don't maintain it, you're going to have problems.
Absolutely. I mean, I have had occasion in my life where I've walked into somebody's house that I've known and they had a window air conditioner plugged into an extension cord that was scorching red hot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
well, you know, I mean, in fairness, when I was about 14 years old, I plugged a space heater into a extension cord, except for it was one of those cords that's on a reel that you hang in the ceiling.
yeah.
It was a trouble light now that I think about it, but it had a plug. And I woke up in the morning and it was this horrific smell. It had just melted that thing. So
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean,
what did I know? I was 14.
Yeah, the danger's out there, and it's no different with a 3D printer.
Glenn Hogue, is that the gasket for the Toyota water pump that you're? Because that is hysterical. All of a sudden, everybody's talking about the log, but I think the square for log is a sighting. Jay Griffith asked, Glenn, do you have a log printer similar to Chris? I do not. I do not have any printer that's similar to Chris. He doesn't look like a printer at all.
I don't. Although I should.
No, and I'm pretty sure everybody in here has seen my disaster of a printer called the FK1. See all that junk piled in front of it? That's why I can't bring it over on camera right now. I even have that table on those, you know, the moving men. I have the cheap version from Harbor Freight, but I keep it on that so I can just slide that table. But I got to get rid of all this stuff. I have half of my home's electronics piled up here right now.
Oh, Chris Lane, that is a great idea, actually. I should create and print a Blammo logo to go on the back of that printer. That would be fantastic.
It's log.
That is a great idea.
Carl says it's a huge waste of space. Yeah, but at least it's got a taller Z than yours does. What's wrong with the FK1? I just haven't finished it. I haven't finished the latest upgrades, enhancements, revisions. I like the word revisions. We're going with revisions. FK stands for Fun King. Yeah, I decided I'm going to take the bed back off of it, though, to finish the electronics. It's too hard to work on it the way that it is right now. So, Techie Dad asked if I'm going to publish any of the files. Yes, I'm going to release the whole thing. Once that I know that it works right and I'm satisfied with it enough, then yeah, I'm going to release all the files publicly. I'm going to sell them. I'm going to sell them for $1. No, the whole package, $1. But it has to be cash, and you have to give it to me in person.
Asking about feeding for a 0.4 versus a 0.6. 0.6 really isn't big enough to cause you any harm. I mean, your string is going to increase. I mean, it depends how fast you want to print or what layer height you'd like to print with, but printing on a 0.6 or a 0.4, you're going to achieve about the same results. You could jump up to printing like a 0.5 layer height, but it's not really worth it. If you don't jump to at least 8 or 1, you really don't see any of the benefits of the larger nozzle. Stefan over at CNC Kitchen has the best information about nozzles, I would say. He's got some really good stuff out there.
Carl said maybe I should publish them now so the community can help. And Chris Lane said, agreed. The problem with that is I think that would turn into a messy nightmare. I think once I'm happy with mine, then I'll give it to everybody and let them do whatever they want with it. But Felipe, we don't even want to. Chris and I talked about that a little bit before the stream started. We don't really want to. We don't really want to get into that mess.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it at all, but it is unfortunate. Master, I believe that's probably also a square. Master of the wind mouth.
Yes, wind mouth is a square. And now that I said it, it counts. Otherwise, it didn't count. But the wind mouth.
Hello from Spain. That's awesome. I love to see the people that jump in and say hello from
far, far away. That's because we're internationally known.
That's right.
That's a square. Glenn, just don't turn into the CNC guy. I don't know. You know, like we all have the right to protect our stuff, right?
We are at time.
Posting that he could build a white knight, and my comment turned into a license debate. Yeah, I mean, there's people out there that license their stuff and want to protect their stuff, and I'm all about sharing. I want to give it away. I want people to have it. I think it's a compliment if I release my design and people build it. That's a compliment, even if they hate me afterwards because it don't work right.
Well, thank you very much that you're a fan of my work. I appreciate that. All right, that's time, Glenn. Our FKB Sunday without the K.
The FB stream.
Yeah, the FB. I think I'll let you give it a go, and then I'll wrap it up. How about that?
Oh, so you want me to like actually do an outro? We can't just be like, bye.
Well, I guess we can.
All right, everybody. Well, I'm Glenn from Fun King 3D, and I should just record this because I'm gonna say it every week, and that is that we thank you guys for all for being here. We love each and every one of you, and if you guys didn't show up to watch these streams, they would be pretty senseless to do. So thanks to the 6 of you guys that gave us thumbs down. Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks for the 40 or the 54 of you for clicking the thumbs up. But most important, thanks for the 95 of you that are watching. If you like what we're doing, we would like for you to give us a thumbs up. We would love for you to subscribe to the channels if you haven't done so. And we make it easy for you just by going to funcountrybasement.com. There's subscribe buttons all the way across there. But even more importantly, on that page, there are a couple pieces of information for you. One is a link to where the stream is going to be each week, and it's usually updated by Sunday. They are always Sundays at 4 o'clock, and we'll generally let you know ahead of time if they're not going to be one, if it's going to be postponed. But the other thing that's important on there is all the way at the very bottom, the basement of the page, if you will, there's a link to the FKB Ingo board. So if you want to play along with us, the bingo board is there for you. And that's completely interactive. No longer do you need to Sharpie on your marker or Sharpie on your monitor. Yeah, that's the one. Myself personally, I can be found pretty much everywhere at FunKing3D, funking3d.com. I prefer Twitter as my choice of communication. I hate Facebook, but see me there once in a while. And I think that's all I got for right now. So that's you, Chris.
Awesome. Yes, it has been another successful stream on Fun in the Country Basement. It's always good to hang out with everybody in chat, as well as my friends Glenn and sometimes Walter. But Walter needs a break for his birthday. Happy birthday, Walter, by the way, if you watch this back. I don't remember what day it was, but it's somewhere around here.
I think it was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Maybe it was Friday.
Yeah, I don't remember. But anyway, Fun in the Country Basement, official sponsor of Earth 2019. I hope as many of you as possible can come visit us. That will be absolutely wonderful to see you. And you can find me on YouTube /Chris Riley. I am on the Twits if you would like to follow whatever I do, although I haven't tweeted much lately, but Chris Riley 3D over there. And that's about all I got. We will be back next Sunday. Hopefully all three of us will be here. And it will be a good time as usual. And I'm going to do the outro unless Glenn has anything else to say.
Print on.
Awesome. And hopefully I don't mess this up. We'll see you all later.